What up, Dokkaners? Things are very slow and boring on global right now. You're not the only ones feeling this way. A lot of people are feeling that right now, which is understandable. We're in the final phase of the global no man's land scenario. This is the final month where I feel like things are going to be very slow on global, because once we hit Golden Week, it's all hands on deck for the newest stuff. Whether you're summoning or not, there's going to be new content, there's going to be intrigue, there's going to be traction. And then coming out of Golden Week, because don't forget, during Golden Week, there's also Goku Day. There's a part 2. Last year was a rousing success in terms of the units, how good they are. These units still have viability a full year later. Given Dokkan and how fast it is in terms of power creep and all that stuff, that is a very impressive feat that these two characters are still relevant to this day in some form or fashion. I would say this one is far more relevant than the Demon King Piccolo, but the Demon King Piccolo is pivotal to World Tournament, which is an event that, as much as I hate to say, will never go away, even though I hate it. And Bulma, one of the best units in the game because of support, insane levels of support, multiple turns of support, can function on non-category based teams. I mean, the point is, there's a lot of W's coming out of Golden Weeks typically. So we can expect something similar during this time. And then after Global jumps out at Golden Week, the final hurdle is the pre-9-year Dokkan Festival Part 1 and Part 2. And with the looming full synchro on the horizon, we still don't know if Part 1 and Part 2 are going to be random extra celebrations that JP has had before the Global just inherits, or if we're going to get some sort of like Tanabata celebration ahead of time to kind of help Global kind of glide into the full synchro with JP. Tanabata for JP will start when Global hits 9-year anniversary. So the last and only chance for Global to make a much more smooth transition into full synchro would be to make the pre-9-year Tanabata, which would also make for a very challenging time for players who are trying to save their stones. But in terms of content, in terms of celebrations and synchronizing and all that stuff, that's the best way to do it in my opinion. But that's not the point of this. We've already talked about that. The point is, what are some of the dates that we want to pay attention to? Right now, there were some theories. I feel like the theories have now dispelled. They've kind of worn off because people kind of understand it's not going to happen. But for those of you who still might be thinking there might be something happening in part 2 of this current celebration that could be in line with JP, I don't think that's going to happen. You can simply dispel these theories by looking at the dates. I didn't talk about this in my global campaign breakdown back when the Super Saiyan 3 Goku celebration first started, but if you look at the stone sales here, April 14th, 10:59 p.m., April 14th, 11:29 p.m. These are their stones and Mysterious Elder Kai ritual summon dates, respectively. If you compare that to JP, it's vastly different because JP's is 2 days early for their stone sales, and their ritual summons end 4 days after that. 2 days after Global's end of their ritual summons thing. Is it normal for it to be a 4-day gap between JP stone sales ending and Mysterious Elder Ritual Kai's? That's weird, but that right there just shows you it's not going to be happening at the same time. If it was a joint banner, both versions would be on the same wavelength, and we're not. So the theory out there, before we found out what JP's Dokkan Festival was during this time, which is Topo, by the way, if you don't know, people were thinking that Goku Black Rose would drop here, and if that happens, then the part 2 to Goku Black Rose would drop in the part 2 celebration. JP gets it and Global gets it, because at that point both versions will have come off of the Goku Black Dokkan Festival part 1. This seemed like the perfect opportunity to do that. So at the moment, there is no joint banner that's going to be happening here. What does that leave in terms of options? Well, it leaves the possibility for another Dokkan Festival to fill in the void during this time, which I think is a very real possibility. The options: First Form Frieza and Topo, because these two celebrations, if they were to continue their pace from last year, would have to fit the pre-9-year Dokkan Festival. And then Topo's part 2 would drop early, would drop right here in the final slot before 9-year, and then that unit itself would drop in the pre-worldwide download, which they could still do. I just think that if they want to try to give Global a chance of a smooth transition into full synchro, what they should be doing is giving one of those two Dokkan Festivals into this slot. Nobody's going to be summoning for this unless you're me and you're a big fan of Tournament of Power, or you're a big Frieza fan. Then we move down here, and that would leave the door open for the possibility of Global going into Tanabata. Now, we've already talked about this before. I'm not going to just rehash that over and over and over. You guys know where I stand on it. In terms of dates, I went back to last year. If there was anything exciting that came up, I was looking at the dates and everything. Last year was a carbon copy of this year. Only difference is it was a day off. So these are the dates when the stone sales and the mysterious elder ritual summons ended. And then I was looking at the news. We got nothing exciting except for, well, Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road. My heart just stopped beating when I was preparing this video because I saw this weekend summons. And I just made a video talking about how I'm going to burn my 84 weekend tickets in the hopes that my Toon L can manifest weekend summons for others. And then I come back and I see this, which it's not the same weekend summon, but it's the Supreme version. But still, it's like my Toon L is sentient and it knows how to screw with me. And it's doing it right now. Because I was looking at like all the teaser info. Normally, like for a new unit, you get like a banner or something like, or not a banner, but a Dokkan event teaser. You don't have any of that. We just had this, like, new Dragon Ball story event coming soon. Oh yeah. Super Battle Road Extreme, Super Battle Road Extreme. That's it. So we'll probably get something similar if it's just going to be a filler banner. That would be in a couple of days. So I am recording and posting this video on the 6th of April. So in like 2 or 3 days, we'll probably start to get word on what's potentially coming up. I don't want it to be something like this, but it very realistically could be. So, you know, keep your expectations low. Regardless, you're not going to be summoning. I mean, you know, I'm sure some of you guys have summoned on the Super Saiyan 3 celebrations. So even you would understand that it would not be wise to summon off of, you know, these 2 dual Dokkan festivals to then summon on another banner 2 weeks later. That's just foolish. I mean, at that point, you're beyond helping if you think that that's okay. Or you're a whale. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. What can you do in the meantime? I know people are just, you know, very much done right now. I'll tell you what I do, which isn't a lot. Also, I just realized my screen is not visible, so I got to show it. So what can you do while you're bored? Well, for one thing, definitely log in and do all of your daily missions every single day, because doing your daily missions, aside from logging in, doubles your stone input or income daily. That is very important. Every time I do these stone count videos, I'm always doubling the login count because of the daily missions. You must be doing the daily missions. On top of that, what you should be doing is trying to boost up your link levels as much as possible on the daily link level boost stage. You should also be getting all of the hidden potential orbs that you can whenever they are around. During the previous celebration, we had a thing where all of these events were available daily, which was awesome. And while it is incredibly time consuming, having access to these sorts of things daily, twice a day, up to twice a day, significantly mitigates the need to go hard on things like World Tournament or, you know, other events that might give you hidden potential orbs. So as annoying as it may be, this is worth doing. Now, what you're looking at here is the Portal of Memories. You can access these events daily with your blue keys. Be warned though, the blue keys are in highly limited supply. Once you burn out, you're gone. You don't have any more. You can't access this event ever again unless campaigns give it to you, which is very rarely. Like if you look at this key compared to my green keys, challenge keys, I don't use a whole lot. This is the tune key. And then my Z battle key, I never use that. So yeah, it's very, very rare and you don't have a whole lot of these. Granted, their only purpose is for things like this. So if you want to use them up, feel free. It doesn't cost you any stamina, but you should be doing that when they are around normally. The entire thing, I think, costs like 270 stamina to do like every single thing daily. On top of that, a great thing that you can do is start to pre-farm some Zenny, either by doing extra stages on Extreme Z battles. This is one thing that I do. It doesn't cost you a single bar of stamina. I just kind of run these on auto while I'm doing other things. Also, you could farm up Zenny through the Hercule event, which is something that I also do. You get even more Zenny on weekends. And actually, pro tip, if you're new to the game or if you never knew this, it's a different event on weekends, so it gives more stones. So that was actually something that I was shocked about one random Tuesday, and I tweeted it out or something. Like, not Tuesday, that's just a figure of speech, but like one random weekend, I jumped into this event and I was like, wait a second, why have I not done these? What happened? Is there a glitch? And then I posted it on Twitter, and then everyone was like, yeah, it's a new stage during the weekend. So yeah, keep that in mind. Those things you can do. And then aside from that, what you can also do is to start working on the medals that are going to be needed to Dokkan Awaken your favorite 9-year anniversary LRs that are going to be coming up in just a couple months. I have not made that video yet. I am going to make that video soon. But if you look at the JP, I mean, you just go to the JP Dokkan Wiki, right? Go to JP. Let's go to categories. Good lord. The movie hero, superhero. whatever, this guy. All right, the Beasto. He needs obviously 70 medals from the new event, but he also needs 35 from the older event. Now, some people don't like to do this because they're a little stitious and they think that if you count your chickens before they hatch and you do farm these medals ahead of time, it could screw your mojo. If that's the case, don't do it. But if you want something to do, you could do that with your spare stamina. There are still other ways that you can keep yourselves occupied in the meantime, and I highly recommend that you do these, because the more you engage in the game, the more likely you are to participate in whatever events that come up. If there's any random celebration like event that is exclusive to the thing and you might forget about it normally, you can jump in and do it. The more activity you have in the game with your stamina, the better. You don't have to burn stones. You can very much do everything you need to in 1 bar of stamina. And then after that, I mean, easy thing, just link level. Just get your links going. 31-4, you'll get not only links, you'll also get green gems, you'll get blue gems. Those are going to be great ways to buy extra characters, free super attacks. You can also exchange them for Elder Kais whenever they do like quest mode updates. Now that Global and JP are basically aligned when it comes to quest mode, when we get the next quest mode update, which will be in a couple of weeks, if not before Golden Week, it will definitely be during Golden Week. We are going to be getting this quest mode overhaul. They will for sure give us new chapters. And when they do, you're probably going to need more blue gems and more green gems. And then you're going to have to exchange those for whatever the heck they give us. So be ready for all of that stuff. I've got about double the green gems to my blue gems. I literally only do blue gem farming from the stage that gives me green gems, which is why I essentially get 2 to 1. But it's worth it. It's very easy. Like link leveling gives me all of this, and now I just have basically an unlimited supply. I regularly use these characters to boost the super attacks of other characters that I get in summons. It's a great way to Dokkan responsibly. So anyway, there you have it. I gotta pay rent. Hopefully you guys watched this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments if you guys are thinking that part 2 is going to be a Dokkan festival on Global, or do you think that Global is just going to get some random useless trash filler banner that does nothing? What are your thoughts on the possibility of maybe some of the full synchro new mechanics and new updates dropping early? Or is it all going to be dropping during the Golden Week? Let me know any of your other thoughts you might have. Any events or things that you're doing currently to keep yourselves occupied in game, let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you'll know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.